3 proposed new congressional redistricting maps have been revealed, and on all of them, Mobile County would be split into District 1 and District 2. A 3-judge federal panel appointed a special master to redraw those districts, saying earlier maps violated the Voting Rights Act. Alabama's appealing to the Supreme Court to block that lower court ruling. Attorney General Steve Marshall and other state lawyers say the map approved by the state legislature in July does comply with the Voting Rights Act.
Dale Jackson here for Yellow Hammer. Now let's talk about congressional redistricting because it's sexy, it's fun, and none of us can get enough of it. We get to have a special master redraw our congressional districts, now setting up a fight for Jerry Carl and Barry Moore, congressmen from the 1st and 2nd district as they are drawn right now, to go at it in a GOP primary, and then have District 2 have a very, very different look to it, where we will now see a potential second Democrat elected in the United States House of Representatives from Alabama, thus shortening the term of Kevin McCarthy and helping Joe Biden accomplish his goals. Now, if that's what you want from the state of Alabama, congratulations. A federal court is looking like it's going to give it to you. But it is not over. And by the way, those words I just said about why this is being done, they aren't mine. We'll get to those here in just a second. But first, let's check out how the media is covering this story. And they're telling you, hey, it's over, all said and done. But let me tell you this right now. It ain't.
New tonight, we're getting our first look at 3 new congressional maps submitted today by the special master placed in charge of creating them.
Now, this as the state is still pushing for the U.S. Supreme Court to step in again. Now, the differences are hard to notice. One map puts in Henry County on the far right in District 1. Others move part of Mobile County into District 2. Federal judges assigned a special master, Richard Allen, to draw new maps after the state legislature failed to create a second district where black voters would come close to a majority. Now time is of the essence here, as state leaders say they need a new map by early October in order to prepare for the 2024 election.
If we get into this uncharted territory of, either extending the fight about the maps where we don't know and the candidates don't know where to run and whom to campaign with, it's going to create a lot of chaos.
Now, the outcome of this could determine the balance of power in the House. It will be up to a federal court panel to decide which map to use. Now, you can get a closer look at all of these maps, all 3 of them right now on our website.
Now, they actually mentioned that there is still a Supreme Court case out there that makes the argument that the maps that were drawn already by Alabama Republicans are good enough. And there's a lot of questions about what exactly these 3 judges wanted, because they never said what percentage they needed for it to be considered close. They just said that these maps weren't good enough. Now, you'll hear a lot of pundits say they thumbed their nose at the courts and all this other stuff. I'm not really sure that's true, because the courts never actually said exactly what they needed. They said get closer, so they did. And apparently they did not get close enough, so this guy gets to draw the maps. I'm not sure this is going to hold. I think this has broader ramifications, but let's just be clear. Alabama Democrats are thrilled about this. And if you read this tweet right here, they'll tell you straight up, with the adoption of these maps, it makes it more likely that a Democrat gets elected. It makes it more likely that Joe Biden's agenda continues. Now, if you want that, congratulations. Good for you, and you can continue to push for that. But if you got a problem with that, well, you might be saying, maybe this isn't that good of a thing for the country. But make no mistake about this, that is what this is about. It is about taking back control of the United States Congress for Democrats. And they will do that via court order every single day. Now, if the Supreme Court decides to reverse this, they'll go back to the original districts or the one that was just drawn, and they will say, here we go. If not, they will put this new district in, and they will say, good luck. Now, I've heard from some on the Republican side that said, no, these districts are still winnable. Maybe it is in a presidential election year. Maybe that is true. Keep in mind, these districts are drawn. Not because the other districts were unfair or anything like that, or something different than was done in other states. It was solely done because they thought by doing it this way, they could take the lead that Republicans have on Democrats in the House of Representatives and make it smaller. They want to take back the House without actually having to vote on it. I mean, that's just the simple fact of the matter. They're trying this in other states as well. So we are now just basically in the middle of some lawfare, and we'll see if the Supreme Court is going to allow this to continue, or if, as the Constitution says, the legislature draws the maps for the states. That's how it's supposed to work. Now, under this new ruling, it was said, hey, stop discriminating by race and discriminate by race. That's basically what they said, which by all standards is not only wrong, but it's also illegal. Well, the Supreme Court's going to decide. You would hope that the Supreme Court would put the pedal to the metal here so we would know exactly what we're dealing with moving into 2024.